All right. As the music ends, y'all know what that means. Welcome back to the Will and Russ Sports Podcast. You know who this is. This is Russ, aka the Prophet.
And I'm Will, aka Will Stradamus, the truth teller. Let's get it, baby.
That's right. The truth teller. I like that one. That one I actually like. But okay. So yeah, so what we got NFL recap, I guess we could call it, of this past week. What was it, week
Yeah,
4?
yeah. Week 4. We're
NFL
gonna,
week 4.
yeah,
We'll recap the games and see some of the results, and I guess discuss, I'm sure, a little bit about some of our predictions, and not only just our week 4 predictions, but I guess also season predictions.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Um, so I tell you what, since the last game of the NFL Week 4 was yesterday, and it was the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm gonna go ahead and let you do the honors on that, Russ. Go ahead and get
So
started on.
you want to wait a minute. You want to start with the Monday night game?
Yeah, and work our way back.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with you on that one. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So Monday Night Football last night, Bengals versus Steelers
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh, and Redhead Kingpin just, I don't know. He was whack last night.
Redhead Kingpin, aka the Red Rifle.
Yeah,
Um,
he shot his eye out last night.
he was shooting blanks last night.
Yeah, he
Um,
was.
so all
I
right,
mean, you know the I, I'm at the point. I was almost at the point. Let me say this. Last night watching that game, when it's late in the game, I believe the score was still 24-3,
yes,
and the Bengals probably had their best drive of the night.
right,
And Redhead Kingpin was striking it. I mean, he was on point. All his passes were on point. Gets down into the red zone, gets close to the goal line, and throws a pick in the end zone. Like you were doing so great on that drive,
right, right,
and to
absolutely,
end it like that, to make a stupid throw that he made in the end zone like that, at that point, just, I don't know. I was ready to be done with Redhead Kingpin and and the Bengals. I was about to give up on my prediction to them, and but I'm gonna stick with it. It's still week 4, but man, I mean, come on. Now you're at the basement of the division behind a Steelers team that's terrible. I don't know. And now the Browns are winning the division. Like, come on. But I definitely don't feel like what that division looks like right now is what it's gonna change multiple times. I believe,
yes, yes,
because nobody's consistent. I thought the Ravens were the best team in that division, and I still believe they are. Just speaking honestly, not talking about my predictions, but
right,
right now, for what I've seen 4 weeks, I would still say the Ravens are the best team that I've seen.
right.
Um,
I would tend to agree with that.
but
Um,
but that doesn't mean that they're gonna live up to that, because they've dropped 2 in a row, and they just got land basted by the Browns, so that kind of
right,
switches everything.
exactly. And Russ, here's the God honest truth about the National Football League, and honestly, in football in general, well, more so the National Football League, but um, the league. Listen, the league is a week to week league, Russ.
Yeah, yes, it is.
It really is. Honestly, let all jokes aside, bro. NFL is a week to week league.
Well, I mean, we've
One,
we've discussed it before. Well, we talked about how NFL is the hardest to pick. Like these
absolutely.
predictions, it's very difficult to pick because any given Sunday. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
yeah,
it's all good. No, what I was saying, I mean, that's how difficult. I mean, you know, listen, Cincinnati, the first week of the season, Cincinnati, they looked really good against Seattle. You
they
remember
did.
that? I mean,
Even week 2, they look good.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why it's such a hard league to predict, man, because one week a team can look like trash, absolute hot garbage, a dumpster fire, and then the next week they can look like world beaters. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, I mean, again, you're the prophet. I'm Nostradamus, and we haven't been looking. I tell you what, Russ, this week wasn't a good week for us.
No, 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 no. There was a lot of upsets and a few shockers out there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, quickly. All right. Well, the Steelers and Bengals game. What do you think happened in that game, man? I mean, do you think it's
It's a
the Red Rifle sort of underperforming, or stinking up the
Oh
joint?
yeah, that definitely he underperformed, but not just him. The Bengals team underperformed, but he definitely did not play well. Um, and I think the Steelers, I wonder if it's a thing of it's a division rivalry. We know who you are, and the Steelers they outplayed them, they outcoached them, they outgame planned them in that game, and it showed. And they were at home, and they were trying to get their first win. You know,
Right,
and they
right.
weren't trying to lose to the Bengals at home, I guess. So it showed on the field. The Bengals just were totally outmatched in that game. And I'm not saying that I think the Steelers are a better team necessarily than the Bengals, but it's football and its styles make fights.
Styles make fights, exactly.
Matchups is a big thing. How teams match up against each other is a
Right.
big
And in
thing,
particular,
and I think
go
it
ahead, go
showed
ahead.
up in that game.
Yeah. In particular, that T.J. Watt matchup, whoever he was lined up against, he was killing him.
Killing them.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, good lord.
Yeah.
I mean, you had his brothers texting saying, "Here goes another sack. Here goes another sack."
Right.
I mean, during the game, I mean, whoever they put on T.J. Watt was ended up being an embarrassment. I mean, I don't know, Russ. I just think that if Pittsburgh had Big Ben, Russ, I honestly think that team will win that division if they had
I,
Big Ben.
I still don't think so. I still don't think
Okay.
that's a very good team. Um,
Okay.
I don't think that's a very good team at all.
Right.
Even with Big Ben, now Big Ben's gonna give them some more victories than what they're gonna get without him. I would say
Right.
that.
Okay.
Big Ben is good. Like I remember when Romo was with the Cowboys, we always said Romo's good for at least 5 games.
Right.
Meaning that he can give us 5 wins, at
Right.
least five.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Well,
think Big Ben, I could say the same thing for him. He could have given the Steelers a few more wins, but I just don't think that's a very good team. I really don't.
overall. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm contrary to that, but it
Yeah.
is what it is. So we'll go ahead and move on to Sunday night's game.
You really set this up, man. This is bad. I see what you did there, but it's okay. It's okay. Um,
So, I
Sunday
tell you,
night, we know the
well, hold
Cowboys and the Saints
on. Explain what happened. You know,
played in New Orleans.
yeah. Explain your case.
Well, I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be an easy game because we blew the Saints out. There is a little bit. There's not a little bit. There's a pretty big rivalry between the Cowboys and the Saints.
Okay.
Um, and I thought it would be a tough game, but I thought we would pull out a close one. You know, so it didn't
Right.
shock me really to see the score 10-12. I think our defense played as well as they could.
Right.
They actually played better last year when they had Drew Brees starting. We
Right.
destroyed them last year with Drew Brees, and they were full strength.
Right.
But Bridgewater is a different style. Like we just said, matchups and styles make fights.
True.
Um, and it was a different matchup for us. He's a mobile quarterback,
Right. So,
and
and you guys had
Bridgewater
right.
is on his game right now.
Right.
He's on his game. He's where he was before the injury in Minnesota.
Right. And he's going to get better, Russ. He's going to get better
Yeah,
with time, with
and
repetition.
Minnesota shouldn't have given up on him.
Absolutely not.
Because he never got another shot to get his job back.
Never did. And that's what got me so heated. Whenever they bring up that name, Teddy Bridge, yeah, I just get so distraught because I know what was on the horizon, Russ. You know what I mean? With that kid, I saw what was on the horizon, and it didn't happen. So,
And,
but
and I have to quickly say I was wrong about that. Teddy Bridgewater coming out. I think I told you this before. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you
it
did.
was in an episode, but I know I've told you this before just in us talking.
Yeah,
Coming out of college, I didn't believe in Teddy. I thought Teddy was going to be a bust.
right, right.
You
Yeah, you
know,
just
I thought he was going to be a bust, but he was one of those that improved. He got better, and when he started playing before his in that season that he was injured, that year he sold me that year because
right,
I said, "Wow, this kid is really good. This kid's
right,
good," and I was excited to see where he was going to end up, and then he got hurt,
right.
and so and it hasn't been this is his first real opportunity since then.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
Bridgewater did his thing, man. The Cowboys defense played well. The Saints defense played well.
Yeah,
You
this.
know,
Yeah, right. That was surprising to me, by the way.
and yeah, they played really well. They were very well coached, very very prepared for the game. And
Hmm.
I'm, as a Cowboy fan, and watching the game, I think Zeke needs to. Hey, I saw too many times where he's tackled by the first guy that gets to him
Yeah,
in
I
that game.
noticed that too, Russ. I
and
did,
and, and
and
like
that's
I
not
said, I it's a problem because you held out and now you got your money and now it's like, okay, we've
right,
been winning in spite of you.
right, correct.
I'm not saying Zeke is a bust. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Zeke. I love Zeke. Zeke is a great player. He is, but I also think that the holdout, he hasn't gotten his legs freshly under him yet,
Right.
fully. You
I
know,
agree with that.
because there were some short runs that I saw, and I was like, now, okay, those are good runs for Zeke because Zeke is a positive yardage type of runner.
Yeah, yeah. He fall.
You know,
He doesn't lose a lot of yards. He doesn't.
no, he's a fall forward kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I like
Mm-hmm.
those type of running backs.
Yeah.
So and when I saw him do that a few times in the game on Sunday night, I said, now that's the Zeke we want to see. Even though it weren't big runs, but I'm just saying that moving the pile and picking up 3-4 yards when others would have picked up one or nothing.
Right.
I saw some of that, but it's not consistent yet,
Right.
like it should be. And I think maybe because of the holdout. I
Right.
think maybe because of the holdout, but he'll step it up. But that was disappointing. Probably the most disappointing thing I saw on the Cowboys that night, other than weird stuff happening like Randall Cobb dropping the ball all of a sudden, Jason
Yeah.
Witten fumbles all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
certain things happen, and it's like sometimes when you're gonna lose, those things happen. You know,
That's right.
that's
That's,
football. That's the same thing you were saying earlier about football.
yep. Exactly. I mean, it's so it's very very hard to predict. You know what I mean? Very hard to
Yeah.
predict.
So what's
Absolutely.
your take on that game, though?
Um. Well, I mean, I did predict that the Saints would win the game. However, and I thought Dallas would put up points. I really did. I didn't think it would be a shootout necessarily, but I was thinking it would be more than one touchdown scored in the whole game combined. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, I think Dallas. I think honestly, Russ, I think Dallas went in a little bit overconfident, honestly, because Drew
I
Brees
could
was
agree with that.
yeah, Drew Brees wasn't playing, so they kind of went in there thinking, it's Teddy. Yeah, I know he won last week, but he's not Drew Brees, which is true. But again, when you have that sort of reality of okay, we're the better team, you tend to get laxed. You know what I'm
So
saying?
yeah, it's a
Mental.
natural thing sometimes.
Right. It's a human. It's only human nature. You know what I mean? Even and Russ, even while you're lined up on the field with these guys, you still look at them and say, it's just not the same team. Even though you're literally playing against them. You know what I'm saying? And that can go a long way mentally and kind of get you out of your game a little bit. And I think that's what happened to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys went in there a little bit, overconfident. Not that they didn't sleep on them, but they kind of knew they were the better team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just reacted too late. I think you know what I'm saying. They were beyond the eight ball a lot because I felt that they didn't really believe that the Saints can do that, can win the game.
Right.
So I think that pretty played a pretty big part in it. And
And that crowd was pretty packed with Cowboy fans. No, no, I'm serious. You saw the game, right?
I did see the game. Yes.
There was a lot. Like, for instance, there was a play where Amari Cooper caught a first down,
Right.
and the crowd started chanting Coop.
Yeah, they did. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
there
yeah,
was a
you got
lot of Cowboy fans there at that game. I mean,
there
a
was a
lot of
lot.
Cowboys fans.
Absolutely.
In
Absolutely. It
fact,
was a
it
lot.
didn't really get crazy loud for the Saints until that last drive that the Cowboys had. That's when the Saints fans really got out. They were out. They were loud at that point. That stadium was booming. But before that, when it was like a struggle throughout the game, it was like off and on. I was like, who are they cheering for? I didn't know, sometimes it was
Right.
like confusing listening to the crowd because it was that many Cowboy fans there. I wasn't saying that because of America's team or to make any point. I was just pointing that out, like to kind of back up what you were saying about us coming in a little overconfident.
Right.
You walk in the stadium, there's no Drew Brees. We destroyed this team just last year with Drew Brees. And
Right.
now their fans didn't even show up to the game. We got,
Right.
we got our fans here. This is gonna be a cakewalk.
Right.
It could have been a little bit of that.
Exactly.
I don't
Exactly.
think they slept on them like you said, but I definitely see that angle too playing a part.
Yeah, so I mean that was my take on the game. I just believe Dallas came in a little bit overconfident and a little bit also, with like you said, styles make fights. With the fact of Teddy Bridgewater's mobility, I think kind of had I'm not gonna say it confused their defense. I think it just made your guys' defense stay home a little bit more.
Yes,
Be a little bit more disciplined in their responsibility, whether it be gap responsibility, because Teddy can escape and what Teddy can do, he can escape right up the middle on you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? When he feels the pocket collapsing on him, he'll run upfield instead of running sideways.
sideways. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Right,
Which is
which
more
and
dangerous.
exactly, exactly. So I
And you
think
know
it
what?
kind of
I think if we slept on anybody, it was Bridgewater.
right,
Not
right.
on the running part, but the fact that his accuracy, he was pretty accurate in that game.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he
He was
was.
on point in that game.
Yeah, yeah. So I again, you guys are one of the better teams in the league. I'm not gonna, judge make any kind of judgment on that. I just think y'all kind of slept on them a little bit, and it
Yeah.
just it
Yeah,
happened.
I wasn't even too disappointed about the game because hey, it wasn't like we got destroyed or
Right, right, right.
I think we're
It could
still
have gone
just as
either
good
way.
as we were.
Right. As bad as you guys played, it could have gone either way. You know what I
It could,
mean?
yeah. I mean, we still came down to the last drive, and if we get in field goal range, it's game
Yeah.
over.
Right. Game over. Exactly. And it almost happened. Really, it did
Yeah, almost happened.
happen. So yeah. I mean, that's the NFL, man. Man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, but we'll see. Next for we'll see what happens next week. What's the next game on the docket that we got
Jag
to review here?
Jaguars Broncos.
Jags Broncos. Okay. All right. Here's my thoughts on this. The Broncos are finished. Okay.
Yes.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Gardner Minshew caught lightning in a bottle against the Titans. Now he's catching like
Reality.
right. I mean, because this is getting. I mean, okay, this is getting really interesting now, Russ. This kid he's actually playing well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's playing well. The yeah, what's going on with the Broncos, bro?
It's
I mean,
just not a
seriously,
good
that
team.
defense,
I mean, the thing that's questioning about the Broncos is the defense. It's like
yeah,
I didn't
that's
expect the
puzzling.
offense to be that great. Just because they got Flacco, that didn't change my mind about their offense.
Right,
But
right,
I expected that defense is what was going to keep them competitive,
right.
and they have struggled so far
Big
this year.
time, big time. I mean, oh my God, they're getting run on. They're getting passed on by rookie quarterbacks.
Right.
I, I mean,
And they're
this
not
is a
getting the pressure they used to on a
they're
quarterback.
not.
That's what they were. That's what made them a great defense was constant, consistent pressure coming from the left and the right side.
Right. And not just sacks either, pressure. Just
Pressure.
the fact that you're taking the quarterback off his mark, you
Right.
know? And they're not even doing that, bro.
No.
That's very concerning if I'm a
Yeah.
Broncos fan, honestly. So
Definitely.
that's my take on that. The Broncos are in a heap of trouble. So, luckily, well, I can't even say lucky that they're not in a bad division. They're in a pretty darn good division.
Yeah, they got the
So
Chiefs, the Chargers.
right. They got the Chiefs twice, the Chargers twice. I mean, hell, Oakland won the game this past. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
okay. Well, that's the Broncos are in trouble. Okay, so
Definitely.
let's move on from that one. So what's the next one?
Next one, I'm gonna let you take the lead. It's the Vikings and Bears.
Okay. Um. Let me see. Where can I start? Okay, I'll start with this. Kirk Cousins.
How did I know?
And Russ, there's a recurring theme with this guy every week, right?
Yeah.
Since the season has started. There's always his name always seems to come up somehow.
And what
Good,
I
bad.
said about Redhead Kingpin, I'm getting there with Cousins too, because he's getting on my nerves now. Like you messing my predictions up, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's playing with your emotions like Big Worm from Friday.
Right.
Playing with my emotions.
Right. You playing with my emotions, Cousins.
Listen, Russ, it's well documented between what me and Kirk Cousins. You already know how I feel about the guy.
Right.
Listen, man, this is what the Chicago Bears did. They figured, okay, you know what? We have a good defense. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take away their best weapon, which is
The
well,
running
not their
back.
yeah, exactly. Their most consistent weapon right now, at least for this season, which
But
is
that is
Dalvin.
their best weapon because it's the running game that's made y'all so much more dangerous
Exactly.
and help the passing game where they don't have to do as much. Cousins didn't have to do as much. So
All right.
you're 100% right. I mean that
All right.
they took away your best weapon.
Yeah, they took away Dalvin Cook, and they said, you know what? We're gonna let Kirk Cousins beat us. That's exactly
Right.
what they did. It's just basic fundamental football 101. Let's
Right.
stop this and see if they can force this guy to beat us. And he couldn't do it, Russ.
Right.
Couldn't do it. Overthrow passes, underthrown passes, fumbles, almost intercepted passes. I mean, he didn't have a pick in this game, but hell, a couple of them could have
He
been
could
intercepted.
have though. Yeah, he definitely could have.
You know what I mean? So Russ, again, I picked the Vikings to finish second in the division. I'm gonna stick with it, but oh my God, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised, Russ, if the Vikings finish last in that division.
And you know what? Other than the games where the run game controlled it,
Mhm.
I would say the Lions look like the best team in that division. Sorry. I can't believe it. Like the Lions look
Right.
like the best team in that division. The Lions were about to give the Chiefs their first loss.
The first loss, right? Exactly. They
Like
held
and you
Patrick
know
Mahomes
what? The
no
Chiefs,
no
they're
touchdown.
lucky they got out of that game with a win. I think the
Absolutely.
Lions outplayed them the whole
They
game.
did. They did.
You
Listen,
know?
Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown pass, Russ.
Yeah.
And this guy's on pace for 58 touchdowns. And he didn't even get throw one, not one, against Detroit, Russ.
This is
God,
what you
it's
gotta love about about football, man, about the
God.
NFL. You know,
Yeah, it's so
the
hard.
parody is real. It's like
Real.
any
That's what
given
makes it
Sunday
great.
is not just a cool saying. It's
Right.
for real.
That's what makes the NFL great, Russ. I mean,
Yeah.
because who would have thunk? I not now. Listen, I had the Chiefs winning the game, but remember what? Do you recall what I said the score was going to be?
I don't remember, but I think you thought they were gonna blow the Lions out.
Yes, I don't you remember, but bro, I said it was going to be like 42 to like 13 or something. You know what I'm saying? It ended up being
Yeah.
a freaking a barn burner.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this league is unbelievable, man. But I
It
mean,
is.
wow. But I mean, what is your thoughts on my beloved Minnesota Vikings?
Like I said, it's the same thing with the Bengals. Like I said, Cousins is his play
Mhm.
is in fact his play is worse than Redhead Kingpin to
It
me.
is. It is to me.
Because
Me
they're
too.
not protecting Redhead Kingpin. He has to go out there and play. The Vikings have actually been trying to protect Cousins, and that's not a
Yeah.
good sign. Not a
Right.
good sign. And you know, it's unfortunate, but it could turn out where that Teddy Bridgewater thing comes to really bite them in the butt
Yep.
later on, man. You know, that they should not have given up on Teddy Bridgewater just because he got injured. Who was it
Right.
that started playing well anyway at that time? Because they didn't have Cousins.
It
Who
was
was
it
it?
was Case Keenum.
Oh, the guy that's in Washington.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Vikings. This might end up. If something happens where Teddy Bridgewater ends up being the future quarterback of the Saints, because Drew Brees could retire any day
Right.
if injuries force him, too many injuries, body
Right.
breaks down, that type of thing. And
Right.
Brees, not saying Teddy Bridgewater is like Brees. So please, anybody out there thinking that's not what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Exactly. Don't get
Teddy
it.
Bridgewater is Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Brees is Drew Brees. But Teddy
Absolutely.
Bridgewater is a good quarterback, and
Yes.
if he ends up being the starter after the end of Brees' career, and goes on and has a long career with the Saints, whether he wins a championship or not, but if he keeps them competitive and he keeps playing well, this might be second to the
Herschel.
Herschel Walker trade.
Yeah. Yeah. Herschel Walker.
You know, for the Vikings, like seriously, that it would only the Herschel Walker trade might trump that,
Right.
as a big mistake.
By the way, just real quick on the side note, that is the biggest, like, how you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? That's the biggest, dumbest move from an organization I've ever seen in my life.
The
I'm
Herschel
sorry.
Walker trade.
Yes, 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 absolutely. The Herschel Walker trade. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings. Well, you know what? No, no, no. Let me
I
take
don't
that.
know about that. I don't know. I just remember Mike Dicker with the
Yeah,
Saints.
and and you took the
He
words
gave
right
up
out.
all of his draft picks for Ricky Williams.
Oh,
And
this
hey,
is the
Ricky
original.
Williams was a really good running back, but
He was. He
it
was.
didn't pay off for Mike.
Remember, Mike had he bought like some little. Remember, he had dreads on. He bought like a little wig, dread
Yeah,
wig.
yeah, the wig. Mike Dicker.
Oh God, but yeah, man, and Russ,
Dicker was a great football player, by the way. I don't want to get too deep into that, but he was a great football player.
yeah,
If
he
people
was.
don't realize it, man,
Famer.
go
Hall of Famer.
Google Mike Dicker or look him up on YouTube and you see his highlights. He was a beast tight end.
Yeah, Dicker was a Hall of Famer. He
Yeah,
is a Hall of Famer.
beast.
Yeah,
A lot of
absolutely.
people just know him for the coaching, though.
Right,
And then
right.
even younger people just know him for being up there as an analyst. But
Anyways, right, right. But Dicker was an excellent, excellent tight end as a
yeah,
football. Hard
savage.
nosed,
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, as far as the Vikings and I mean, the Bears, Khalil Mack, first of all, is a monster. You know what I mean?
yes, he is.
He
Yes,
is
he is.
a beast. Russ,
He's what
at
Von
times,
Miller used to be.
exactly, exactly, exactly. I mean, he's a game wrecker. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? He's a game wrecker, bro. So, yeah, man. So, um, he's a game wrecker, and he did his part. It was to be expected that he was gonna come in there and tear us apart, which he did. But at the same time, Russ, I mean, we had our opportunities, man. But Kirk Cousins
You guys could have won that game.
yeah, Kirk, he just listen, Russ. The bottom line is Kirk Cousins is a bust. He for us at least. You know what I'm saying? He's not. I'm sorry. If you're gonna ask me, okay, this acquisition we made last year into this year for we signed him to a 3-year contract, 84 million, fully guaranteed. What do I think about it? I think it's an absolute farce that we have this guy as our quarterback who we overpaid for, and now we know what's going to happen. We're not going to be able to sign key guys, that are up for
Right. Right.
acceptance. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there you have it. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
You know what? Forget about stuck rock and a hard place. We are effed.
Just F, huh?
Yeah, we're effed. Okay, so let's move on to the next game. Damn it, I'm tired of
Right.
talking. Tired of talking
Right.
about these damn Vikings.
All right. Next game was the Seahawks Cardinals. I mean, 27-10 in Arizona. Not a shocker there.
Shocker, yeah, at
We
all.
both picked the Cardinals to finish last. I thought that they would have some good moments this year, but most of it would be struggle. Kyler Murray is going to go through his ups and downs. Nothing's changed there. Russell Wilson and them have bounced back. They came back, and a good team to bounce back with is the Cardinals to get a
Yeah.
division win. Not trying to go backwards too, but the Vikings have 2 division losses now. But
Right.
that they need to get it. The Cousins, you need to get it together, man. But
Right.
let's but we talking Seahawks Cardinals, and division game. I mean, no shocker there.
Yeah.
27-10 Seahawks over the Cardinals. What'd you think about it?
Like I'm completely everything. I echo everything you said, Russ. Pretty much, it's the same, man. I expected the Seahawks to lose. I mean, the Cardinals to lose. I remember I told you it was the Bird Bowl. The Seahawks won that bird fight, so
Right, right.
you know.
That's right. You did say that.
And so it's not much news there, bro. We can
Nah.
move on to the next game.
Yes. Where there is much news on the next game. Buccaneers versus the Rams, 55-40. And if you guys have been sleeping under a rock, or you were out there because your feathers got ruffled and had to pluck them, you spent the weekend plucking your feathers. The Buccaneers had 55,
Wow.
not the Rams. Good old Jameis,
Yeah.
Redhead Kingpin failed me. Kirk, not my cousin, you failed me. But Jameis Winston,
Oh God.
you
Yeah,
getting
okay.
the
Yeah.
job done, brother. You
Listen.
making the prophet look like the prophet.
Yeah, on that one, yes. I'll tell you this. Let me, now, Russ. It's well documented how I feel about Jameis. I think
Yes.
Jameis. I like Jameis. I think he can be a very good quarterback if he stays consistent. Now, he's had 2 games in a row that he's been really good. So, is this a sign of him
Yes.
turning the tables, so to speak?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right.
I
I,
believe I
I guess.
told you I believe this year because remember when we did our predictions I said because of the coaching staff and also Jameis wants to be, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
the thing I like about Jameis is that he's willing to accept his faults.
right.
He's willing to accept his faults and try to improve on them, and that's all you can ask from anybody. And the guy is a team player. He wants to win badly. He's willing to put the work in.
Hmm.
Sometimes he can get a little. We've seen him eating W's and stuff and acting
Well,
crazy.
I tell you what,
But
Russ,
I think that's just, huh?
he ate a big W on Sunday. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. He definitely ate a
Oh my
W against the
God.
Rams, and that's another thing to talk about the Rams because who was the best quarterback on that field? I mean, golf is garbage.
Yeah,
Garbage. How you mix garbage and golf together? Golf
Gorfage.
bitch. Golf bitch. He's garbage. I mean, and I'm not
You
sold on golf. Anybody else knows me, they know I'm not sold on golf. Never was. I think he's overpaid. We're just talking about Cousins. I think golf
yeah,
is overpaid.
yeah.
And
You know what, Russ? He could be falling into the Kirk Cousins category as well. Honestly.
yes, yes.
I mean, because think about it. He's surrounded by great players.
Oh
A
yeah.
really good team.
And
But for
that's what
some,
helps him.
right, that's what helps him. And he puts up these numbers. Yeah, oh my God, he's accurate. Listen, when it
You
comes
gotta
down
watch
to
the game though.
you got bingo. You got to watch the games and see how he performs. See how the ebbs and flows of the games happen. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
exactly.
um, Jared Goff is. I mean, he threw up all over himself on Sunday.
Yes,
Oh
he
my
did.
God, he was horrible. You know what I mean? Jameis Winston, on the other hand, looked fantastic.
Four
You know,
TDs and a touch and one pick.
yes. I tell you what. Even though that was a pick, remember I told you we might throw a pick six and it actually happened.
Yeah, he did. It seems like when he throws a pick, it ends up going to the house. Like I don't understand.
Every time, doesn't it, Russ? Oh my God,
Right.
Jesus!
He might have the most pick six in NFL history. I mean, I don't know.
I
But
mean, when
nah,
that
Jameis, we not gonna put no bad jinx on you. You keep
boy,
doing what you doing, Jameis.
when that
Put
boy,
that win in Winston.
listen, when that boy throws an interception, he throws an interception.
No, he does. Yeah, yeah, he
He's
does.
very kind to the defender. So he's like, you know what?
Right,
Go ahead, get this pick six real quick and
right,
start it up again.
right.
Oh man, but you know what? I'm very proud of him. Honestly, I'm happy for James, man. You know,
Yeah,
he seemed like he's turning. Maybe like you said, Russ, that's what he needed. He needed to to get with a better coaching staff. Maybe it's some better coaching will help him out, and it's looked like it's paying off.
it is. Yeah, Bruce Arians. I mean, his style of play, his style of coaching is very. His players always love him. They're gonna go all out for him.
Yeah,
Um, to have the coordinators that he has, Byron Leftwich is a big help. I thought to James Winston as well.
yeah,
And then to have Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator is huge.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is
It is.
huge.
It is. It is.
So it's interesting because the Bucks, it's not far fetched now that they could win that division. I know the Saints are still there, but this is the Saints that got Bridgewater. It's not the Drew Brees Saints, so it's gonna be a battle there.
It
It's
is. It
gonna be
is.
a battle.
It is.
Because
Absolutely.
Bridgewater, his offense is gonna be more controlled.
Yeah.
It's a more controlled offense, not high power, put up 40 points offense, high flying, but it's gonna control and get you to the win. Try to get you to win. You
Right.
know, and that's why you're gonna see a lot of low scoring games if the defense is playing well for the Saints.
Right.
Because Bridgewater is gonna. I'm not saying he's just a game manager or nothing. I'm just saying his style of play is not just throwing 40 times a game. Like
Right.
that's a different style than what he does. How he wins and how Drew Brees wins are different.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
a lot of times his games might be a little bit closer.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just think that division is up for grabs between probably the Bucks and the Saints. The
I
Panthers, I don't want to put them on. The Panthers also has a chance, but I don't think so. And the
right.
Falcons are just the Falcons. They're going to be at the bottom of the division.
Yeah. Yeah. Me neither. I don't think so either. Well, I mean, okay. With that said, now where do the Rams go from here? I mean, good lord, getting beat at home like that.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, I think the Rams will bounce back. They're well coached. They've got
Right.
talent. Everybody knows the talent, so they'll bounce back. I don't think it's like we're gonna see them like lose the next five or nothing. But when people put Golf in a position where he has to win the game, they're they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. There hell a whole heap of it too. I mean,
Yeah,
we saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it, I mean, hell, we saw it, 2 days ago. You know what I mean? We see it in other games. So the Rams got to watch out here, man. They're going to be dealing with some issues as far as their quarterback position. So that's
absolutely. They might miss the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, exactly that's something to keep an eye on, Russ. Seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm telling you right, San Francisco, they're 3-0. I'm not saying Jimmy Garoppolo is the next coming of John Elway. I mean, hell, if they keep winning,
But they're playing well from
yeah,
what we've seen. And then you
yeah,
got the Seahawks in that division.
right, right, and they're not going nowhere. So
No.
you know that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
What's the next game, bro?
Chargers Dolphins.
All right, what's the next game after that?
Yeah, quickly, the Dolphins are the Dolphins. Um, I heard it was a fist fight in the locker room getting to the phone because they wanted to call their agents again. So some of the hardest hits the Dolphins have had all season happened in the locker room.
Oh God.
Hitting those buttons on their cell phone to call their agent. That's the hardest hits they've had all year. But yeah, they I mean the Dolphins they're not getting any better, and I don't think they will. Um,
I
The
mean,
Chargers needed that. They needed the Dolphins this week
yeah,
so they can
exactly.
get something going. They got Melvin Gordon back, and
Yeah, yep. They
you
got
know,
help, on the Dolphins real quick.
yeah. I mean, he didn't play, I know, but he's back, and that's something to look forward to for them.
Right, right.
And I mean, this kid Eckler has been playing really well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Him
So
and
now you found another back. You got two now, with Melvin
yeah,
Gordon and Eckler. So
exactly right, exactly. Yeah, the Chargers. If they, remember Russ, we was talking about the Chargers. They give you one or two games that's just one of those head scratching games.
yes,
Like, huh? What was that? You know what I mean? So
right.
at least they're back on. They got off the schneid. They're back on track. So, um, you know, yeah, that's to be expected against the Miami Dolphins. So next
Yeah,
game.
that's true. But that's all it takes for the Chargers, though. They can get that one and then win like five in a row.
Right,
So you
right,
never know what to expect from them.
exactly, exactly.
But next game we got the Panthers and the Texans, which was a bit of a shocker for me. Um, for the Panthers to beat the Texans. I when I was starting to believe in the Texans
Yeah,
and Watson, they let me down. They lost to the
yeah.
Panthers.
I agree. We both picked that game to pick the Texans to win that game. I remember that. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
16-10. Panthers beat them in Houston.
yeah, yeah. I mean, uh, what do you think happened in that game, Russ? Because I mean, was it? I mean, I don't know, man. Was it Deshaun? I mean, couldn't have been Deshaun, right? I mean, was it
Well,
just?
the Panthers defense, I think, played their best game of the season so far.
Yes,
They
yes,
saved it for the Texans and they played really well. And the run game, that kid McCaffrey is no joke.
yeah. He's
He's the
really
real
good.
deal. I like that kid a lot. I mean, he's got the NFL pedigree,
Hmm.
and he's actually bulked up this season a little bit, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
to
true.
add a little bit of mass, which is much needed at that position. But he hasn't lost, any of his quickness
Right,
and his elusiveness. So the kid is just a good football player, even
right.
just beyond a good running back. He's a good football player. He
Good
really
football.
is.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree.
And if he keeps it up and let's see how his career goes, he could put himself in a position to be a great football player.
Right. I tell you what though, Russ, who the other guys who seems like he could be a pretty good football player is Kyle Allen, their quarterback, their backup quarterback.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
let you take the floor on that one.
oh yeah, absolutely. So basically, I think the quarterback controversy is over. I think Kyle Allen, this is Kyle Allen's team going forward. Um,
Are you
Medea,
serious?
no doubt about it. Medea said that she's taken a step away from
The Red,
football for
the Redskins gonna trade. They're gonna trade Cam to the Redskins.
a while.
Redskins gonna give up. They gonna give up their first 3 round, first, second, and third round picks to get Cam.
Yeah, she Medea said that she's gonna
Medea.
step away from football and just kind of get her mind right. So the Panthers. I don't know if somebody asked Kyle Allen, man, Russ. Oh my God, I wish this was on. I think it was on Twitter or Facebook.
I don't think it was real though.
You don't think it was real?
No, it wasn't real.
Man, I
If
hope
I
it was.
think what you're gonna say, yeah, it wasn't real.
Okay, so you know
He
I
never
want
he
to talk.
never said that. Yeah, he never said that.
Okay, because if he said that I mean that would have made my year.
I
Okay,
know. I know. It was funny though.
it was funny. Hell yeah. Um,
I don't care about
but
these scarves or what was it? Um, being a
wig,
fashionista, whatever it
right?
was. He said
Fashionista.
fashionista.
And and somebody else said that too. Another. Oh, matter of fact, Michael Vick commented on that.
Yes, yes.
He said, man, look, Cam, look, dude, just focus on football. Stop all this, just dressing up like Medea and doing all this. Just focus on football, man. Forget about all that. Just focus on football. Get healthy. Focus on football. Apparently, Russ, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard he's a vegan.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Well, first of all, this is the wrong business to be a vegan in, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, you need to have protein, and so you can. I mean, you need to perform.
I
Being a
mean,
vegan.
whether
I don't
you
know.
whether I don't think if he went and ate a steak this weekend, it's gonna change his play on the field. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you know what?
I
You're
just
right
think
about
this
that.
guy needs, you know what I mean? I just think this guy needs to. You see, when you're losing,
Hmm.
that's when we can have these discussions about him being a fashionista and a vegan. You see what I mean? It's like if Tom Brady was a vegan, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, right?
If Tom Brady comes out and puts a scarf on after a press conference, it's gonna be one after they won, and
Yep.
you see what I mean. And it's not gonna be made. They'll talk about it. Let me give you a prime example.
Right.
Perfect example with Cam. Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Dennis Rodman was as opposite as anybody else was in the NBA at his
Right.
time in the '90s when he played. The
Yeah.
colorful hair, the tattoos, just
He
some
was
of the
he was
some of the
doing
same
things nobody
crazy
never seen.
attire too that can be wearing. All
Right.
of that.
Right.
But one thing you could never say about Dennis Rodman was that he underperformed.
Under exact bingo. Exactly.
So as much as
Yeah, but-
everybody would say at the end of the sentence, you would always end it with, "But that boy is a baller. Like he's gonna get you 15 to
Give you
20
all he
boards.
got, Russ. All he got. He's
He's a
gonna
winner." You know,
yeah.
Dennis Rodman was a winner. So regardless of what all the craziness he was going on, it's okay when you're winning.
Yeah. That's
Once you
right.
start losing, like
Oh yeah.
Cam, now when you're wearing those Medea get ups and you know the Long Ranger ensemble, when you come out there looking like one of the three amigos, I
It's
mean,
really gross. And you come out there, man. Don't forget about Grace Jones. I mean, he has one outfit. He looks just like Grace Jones, Russ. I
Grace
swear.
Jones, um, looking like Aunt Esther. I mean,
Aunt Jemima. I
Aunt
mean,
Jemima, the church lady. I mean, whatever you want to, when you start doing that, now it stands out
oh
because
yeah.
people are already looking at you like, especially after what you did in after the Super Bowl
Oh
and
my
didn't want
God.
to talk and you pouted, you did all that stuff. Now people
Right.
already have like a bad taste in their mouth, and now you're coming out there after losing and looking like
Looking like a
somebody's great aunt. You know what I mean?
right.
So that's magnified now. Now look,
Absolutely
now we discussing like what you eat.
right. We're
We
discussing what
like,
you
isn't he a
eat.
vegan? This dude's a vegan. Now it's like that's a problem. You see what I mean? Because it's
Right.
like you're losing and you looking. It's bad perception, just
Yep.
terrible perception for
And
Cam
what do we say
right
about
now.
perception? If perception is reality,
It
what you
is
see,
reality.
right? You know. So, I mean, listen, Cam. Again, Russ. I don't hate the guy. I don't know him, so hate him.
No,
You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is I'm done with him because he doesn't see. He's been in the league long enough now, Russ, to be to know that. Listen, man, you're a pro. You're a franchise quarterback. Act like it. Listen,
right.
all right. Case in point, Russ, your team, the Dallas Cowboys, when they lost against the Saints. Okay, the post game press conference. What did Dak say?
I actually didn't watch the post game press conference with
Okay,
Dak.
well, I'll tell you what he said. Dak basically said, and I'll sum it up in a few words here. He said, "Look, all right, we came in here. We felt confident about this game. We knew we could win the game. It just didn't happen. We just got to take our lumps. Go back and rebound and come back next Sunday and try to get a win." That's what he
Right,
said in so many words.
right.
I mean, dressed as a professional, looked professional, and addressed every question that was asked of him.
Right.
That's what a pro does, and that's what Cam isn't. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm
I
done.
agree.
You know,
I
and
agree.
I,
As
so
much as
I
I
love
used to
press
be
conference.
a lawyer for Cam, I used to defend him before, but I can't defend him anymore. It is what it is. He's not playing well, and he's making things worse on himself by how he carries himself.
Right, right. It's at some point, Russ, you got to know, like, okay, this isn't working. What I'm doing right now, and all right, I'm doing this, and we're losing, so I can't keep doing this no more because it just doesn't. It's not a good look. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, but we'll see what to do next weekend. We'll see. What's the next game?
Patriots Bills.
Wow. Well, we both called it.
Another 16-10 game.
Yeah, remember we both said that it was going to be a tough game,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
them Buffalo Bills, it was circling the wagons. I'll tell you that much.
Yes, they were.
Good
At
lord.
one point, I really thought they might pull it off. At one
Yeah,
point.
I did too. I did too. Yeah, but you know, Russ, we both. I mean, we picked the Patriots, but we were telling everybody that it's going to be a close game, and it
Yeah.
was. Oh my God, it was. Jesus Christ. And I tell you what, the Bills are for real, man.
Oh
That
yeah.
defense, that defense is for real.
That defense is legit. Yeah. Because
Absolutely.
Brady didn't look like Brady. You know.
No, he looked like Marsha Brady. Seriously.
Yeah, he didn't look like Brady in that game. The Bills really, they put a Giants on him. You know.
Yeah.
They made him look like he was playing the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Right. Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, that's listen. The Bills again. And you know what? They're gonna go in New England and they're gonna play them tough in New England. You'll see.
Yeah.
So
But
that's just
that
what the
division
Bills
is still
do.
the Patriots, man. The
Oh,
Bills still
absolutely.
not ready to dethrone them.
Nah, they're not. Nah. And
If they
also,
were, they would have won this game.
yeah, yeah, facts. But I mean, kudos to the Bills, man. They play hard. You gotta
Yeah.
love a team like that. They play hard. On every game they come to play.
Right.
It's not a Dolphins type of game for
No, no.
team that play the Bills.
Or the Jets.
Right.
The Bills are the only challenge in that division
In that
right
division.
now. Right now for the Patriots.
Right. I
You know.
completely agree, bro. Um, what's the next game?
Raiders Colts 31-24. Raiders beat the Colts in the dome.
Wow.
Which
We
was a
both.
shocker. It was a little bit of a shocker for me.
Yeah, me
I think
too.
we both picked the Colts.
We did. We both picked the Colts, and I was like, "Whoa, what happened here?" You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God,
Yeah,
huh?"
the Raiders came to play. I mean, they came to play.
Yeah.
You know.
Um, what do you think happened in that game, bro? I mean,
I
is
mean,
it defense?
but
Defense didn't show up. I mean,
yeah, the Colts. I don't know. The Raiders just seemed like they had. I don't know if the Colts slept on them. Almost like what you said about the Cowboys game. It's like I think the
yeah,
Colts were riding high. The Raiders, you didn't know what to expect, and I
right,
think they just shocked the Colts, and they never recovered. You know, they never
yeah,
recovered in that game. And I mean, Brissett played well, but then he made a couple mistakes in the
right,
game. But I think the Colts are still a legit team, and they'll bounce
yeah,
back from
yeah.
this. And I think the Raiders could go next week and get blown out. You know what I mean? I don't
Well,
know who they're playing yet,
you're
but
playing the
I'm just
Bears.
saying that's how inconsistent their play is.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. And I agree with you. The Colts. I think you're right. I think, yeah, a matter of fact, you hit the nail on the head in my estimation. The Colts probably thought, this is the Raiders. They've been looking terrible for the last three games. Um, we're at home. We got the better team. We got a hell of a defense. Um, and I think honestly, I think when they got hit in the mouth, they swung back, but they didn't keep swinging back to the
Right,
Raiders.
right.
They didn't keep swinging back like they usually would.
Like they
And
couldn't believe what was happening. Like it was
right,
almost like they were shocked, like
yeah, exactly.
that
It
they're
was
doing
like
this to
wow,
us.
exactly. You had. I mean, honestly, even Jacoby Brissett, who I like a lot, had a look on his face like, damn, he had that look like, are
Right,
these guys really competing with us right now? You know,
right,
what I'm saying? That's that shock look like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on
right.
here? You
So
know,
I think it'll be a learning experience for the Colts, and they'll bounce back.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah, they'll bounce back. I got them bouncing back, absolutely, man. So, but that game was very bizarre. The Raiders just for some reason they just you know what the Raiders did? The Raiders like that kid who always gets bullied by a lot of other bullies, and then
Right.
when one final bully came up and started bullying him, he just hit the bully in his mouth a couple of times, and the
Yeah, and they
bully,
were like, "Yeah, not this time."
right. You know what I'm saying?
Tired of eating dirt.
Right, right. So I think that's what happened. But I mean, yeah, the Colts. I think the Raiders gonna go back to reality and they're gonna lose again. And the Colts, they'll hold serve and keep on winning. I think the Colts are, absolutely legit team,
Yeah, I think they're a legit team too.
no doubt, no doubt. Who's the next game?
The Browns and the Browns. I'm sorry, the Browns and the Ravens.
Well, I
It's
t-
like they switched roles for the game.
right.
Ravens went
What?
back to being the Browns again.
Right. What in the world happened in that game, bro? I
I
mean,
mean, the Browns came out and Baker played well.
yes, he did.
One thing I want to point out about the Browns, I want to get your take on this.
Mhm.
Odell Beckham. For years, from the time Beckham came in the league, him and Jarvis were at LSU, and of course they beyond that they were friends. They grew up together,
Right,
whatever, what have you. And coming out of the draft that year, I had Landry above Beckham.
right,
You know,
right.
and I continued to stick with my guns throughout the years when everybody was on Odell after he made the crazy catch on Brandon Carr against
Yeah.
Dallas.
I
You
remember that
know,
everybody lost their minds, even though to me
yeah.
that was the greatest catch I've ever seen. But go ahead.
No, it's not the greatest catch I've ever seen. It was a good catch, but
Yep,
definitely a good catch. But these days, these receivers got those gloves. You better go check those gloves out. Those
exactly.
gloves are like stick 'em. You know,
Right, right,
everybody's one hand catching now. So
exactly.
but anyway, my point is, I think it's to be revisited. Who is the
Right.
better receiver,
Wow, that's a good
Jarvis
question.
Landry or Odell Beckham? And I still feel I like Landry. And the
Yeah.
reason being, I'm not saying Landry's more talented necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
or even because don't get me wrong, Odell Beckham is athletic as you can get, as
Right.
talented as you can get, passionate, but his passion works against him
It does.
because he lets it overtake his mind, and that's the problem. Like I use Michael Irvin as an example because you can't find anybody more passionate than that.
Right.
But the difference is Michael Irvin was passionate, but never let it overtake his brain.
He never did. He never did.
On the football field. Never let it
Mhm.
take it overtake his brain. He always managed through his head. Not
Yeah.
not not his passion.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue I have with Beckham, and I think Jarvis Landry is a little bit more consistent of what he's going to give you week in and week out. He's more
True.
consistent, and
Absolutely.
Beckham has been inconsistent for some years now, and
Yes, he really has.
people make a lot of excuses for him all the time. They blamed Eli. Oh, the Giants sucked. Oh, this, that. It's always something. Or they're not throwing him the ball. It's always something. But he didn't get many looks. Was he not getting open? I don't know what was going on in that game. He wasn't getting open, or they just, Baker just made it a point to say, "I'm not going to you," and
Well,
all of a sudden Baker looks good.
yeah, I think honestly, I think Baker figured, listen, if this team is going to bounce back, if we're going to win consistently, he has to sort of, spread the ball around, spread the wealth. You can't just focus on one receiver and just, try to force feed him. You can't do that. That's what Odell got from Eli. The same, same thing. Antonio Brown, same way. A lot of Ben Roethlisberger's interceptions came when he tried to force the ball to Antonio Brown. Same thing with
Right.
Eli. You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield probably, hopefully for his sake, that he realizes, you know what? In order for us to win, I can't make us one, a predictable team or one
Right.
dimensional. You know what I mean?
And
Everybody's got to get touches
absolutely,
and make sure we do that.
absolutely.
You
And,
know,
and I
so
also I also wonder too, Will, if I just to play the other the other side of it, maybe I'm picking on Beckham a little bit. Maybe he was being double teamed and the Ravens went to take him out, and
right.
that forced Baker to go elsewhere as many times as
Maybe,
he did.
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe that was what the situation is. I'm just to be fair, maybe that's what happened. I don't know. but just was interesting to me.
Yeah, that is interesting. But however, I mean, listen, take nothing away from the Cleveland Browns. They played a great game. I mean, defensively
Yes,
and offensively. You know what I mean?
yes.
Uh, Nick Chubb had him a career day.
Hey,
And
I like Nick Chubb a lot.
yeah, I mean, Russ, I don't know if you remember, but when he broke out on that, I think it was like an 85-yard touchdown run. When he got
Yes,
up past the 50 and he was going like past the 40 and 45, and Earl Thomas was the only one left in chase. He was
yes,
chasing him. And Earl Thomas basically slowed down to it came to a stop. So, there in the post game press conference, he was asked, it was like, well, Earl, you think you could have caught him there? Earl's like, man, Earl said, man, look, man, I was running fast enough, man. Look, he was gonna score anyway. I'm worried about my hamstring. I don't know what's going on. I didn't want to pull my hamstring, so I pulled up. I didn't want to keep going and possibly pull a hamstring.
wow. Hey, I mean, he's honest. Yes,
Yeah, I mean, the man's a Super Bowl champion, so it is what it is. But damn, Earl, you didn't have to be that real. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right,
You could have said it like whisper in the dude ear later on or something, not say it in public. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It doesn't look good on your account. But yeah, man, I mean, with the Ravens, do you think it was a case of maybe they slept on Cleveland?
A little bit. It could be. You know, um, because
Cleveland
they
was really,
lost to the Chiefs.
yeah, yeah,
And they battled the Chiefs though.
yeah,
And sometimes maybe they walked out of that game feeling like, hey, we're all right.
yeah.
We just went toe to toe with the Chiefs.
Chiefs, right?
You know what I mean? And really, it's like, no, you still got to put your work in. Don't start thinking you guys are one of the top teams in the league or something just because
Right.
you competed and
Competed.
lost to the Chiefs.
Love, right? Exactly.
And
You know
maybe they
what?
walked in there and the
That
Browns
was
are like, look, we can't keep playing like how we've been playing, and they came prepared, and the Ravens didn't.
exactly. You know what, Russ? That was a false sense of security. Basically, that's what
False
that
sense
was.
of security,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, well, hey, man, we had a chance to even win against the Chiefs. We
Right,
lost, yeah, but we played them well, okay. And then but see, that's why, again, going back to what I was saying, with the NFL is so unpredictable, because what you do the week prior doesn't necessarily carry over to
right,
the next week. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Unless you carry it over, yeah.
Exactly. Just because you played well against the Chiefs doesn't mean you're going to play lights out against the Browns. You have to look at the Browns for what they are and what they present to you, what
Right,
challenges they present, and what matchups. You know what I'm saying? That you
right,
have. That's
right.
why that's what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, the Ravens. They messed that one up, for real. I think you're right. I think they did sleep on them a little bit. I think they were mentally laxed, and it was like, you know what? We played well against the Chiefs, who was considered, a lot of the pundits consider them, the top dog in the AFC. So we almost, came back and won against them. So
Right, right.
you know, we'll just show up and beat the Browns. I don't think so, bro. This is the NFL. Nothing
And
but
it's a
professionals.
division game. I mean,
Exactly, a division game. Bingo. So you know. Yeah, now they got to go. I mean, their feathers got ruffled. Them Ravens feathers got ruffled, and you know what they got
and
to
the
do?
Browns plucked them. They plucked it for them.
Exactly. So,
Now,
the-
I'm
the-
wondering about, before we move on that game, Will, I wonder how I didn't get to see any of the post game press conferences of any of these games. Um, how was Odell feel? Was he happy in that victory? Was he?
um, I,
What was his
I,
mood?
I don't think he really got interviewed a lot. I think he said a couple of words. He didn't honestly. If I was be honestly, he did not look happy. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't say, "Yeah, we won the game, and that's all that matters." And he was like, "Oh, we won the game, and things happen." Oh, by the way, speaking of Odell, he got choked out in that game. I don't know if you remember.
What?
He yeah. Um, Marlon Humphrey, the cornerback for the Ravens, him and Odell got into a scuffle on the field.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I did see that. I
And
did
and
see
you know
that
what?
highlight.
And Odell apparently, Russ, Odell has some it's really expensive earrings in his ear. Uh,
Oh man, he's another fashionista.
yes, and as he
Were
was
they
getting,
door knockers? Did he have door knockers? 90s and 80s door knockers?
I don't think it was door knocker. I think it was like I think it might have been like the Michael Jordan hoop, like loop ring.
Their little
You know,
loot, yeah. And they
yeah,
got ripped out of his ear or something.
yeah, I think so. And then I think it cost like $500,000 or whatever it cost, and he lost it on the field. So apparently somebody has it right now and probably pointing it. But
Right,
yeah, so he was really concerned about that though, Russ. He was like, man, it's too bad I lost my earrings, and I'm not even worried about the fact that me and him was scuffling. It was, I lost some really expensive earrings. I was like, okay, well, we see where your mind is at right now, Odell.
right.
Um, so yeah,
Fashionista.
exactly, Russ. You know what?
You
I'm
know,
not
him and
gonna
Cam should get together and open up like a boutique.
like bingo, a boutique, a fashion boutique. Seriously,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like Odell can give Cam pointers on the jewelry, and Cam can give him pointers on the outfits. You know what I'm saying?
Scarves.
The scarves and dresses, and
Right.
handkerchiefs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that'd be a great business venture, really.
Right. Right.
Uh, but I mean, listen, Odell, we already know he's been a diva since he stepped foot on the league.
Right.
The league.
Right.
So, and he's a receiver. So, you know,
And
I'm not going to put too
receivers
much.
have always been divas, Will,
Always,
but
always
these receivers, some of these receivers today are taking it the diva thing to another level. I think. I
complete.
mean,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, they really are, bro. They're taking it to a whole new level. I mean, Odell, good lord. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, it's trickling down to other positions. Look at Melvin Ingram with the dress he had on the other day
Yeah,
with the
the dress
with
and
with the
I don't.
bag, the
Yeah,
handbag, and the silky smooth legs with the high heels he was rocking. I'm like, what?
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. You know, they drug test people. If Byron Jones, no, was it a Woozier or Byron Jones who chased down somebody week one or somebody? Oh, against the Giants, he chased down Saquon and caught him from behind, even though it was at an angle. It wasn't like he caught him from straight behind.
Right. We talking about
He had a
right?
favorable football angle and was able to yeah, it was a Woozier I think who did it,
Yeah, yeah,
our corner, and he caught him. And sometimes when you do, they have this thing where if you do something extraordinary or thing that surprises
yeah,
people, something athletic,
yeah.
they give
Drug
you a
test.
drug test.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Maybe we need to start drug testing these guys after seeing outfits like that. Like,
yeah. After post
you
game
got to be on drugs to walk out the house like that.
play.
Some of these, I mean, seriously, it's crazy.
I mean, some of these guys have girlfriends and wives and walking out the house like they dressed like their girlfriends or wives. I mean,
Right. Like they share a closet and he just reached in
right.
and ended up
Hey,
grabbing one of her dresses and said, "All right,
right.
I'm going with it.
Hey, Russ,
Might as
can
well
you see
grab
it
her
now?
heels too and her purse."
Right. Can you see it now, baby? I got a game against Chicago this weekend. It's a 4 o'clock game. Do me a favor, let me borrow your heels real quick.
Right.
I mean, this is amazing, man. Unbelievable.
It is. It is.
Oh,
It really is. You know that flowery dress you always wear? Can I wear this for the post
right.
conference press conference? Like
Can I wear your leggings for the
right.
just? Oh, God,
Oh yeah,
it's
and
amazing.
by the way, you need a couple more razors. I use the ones you use to shave your legs. I shave my legs, so you know you gonna have to get some. I'll grab you some more razors on my way home. I'll stop at Cam and Odell's
Right,
boutique.
right.
Grab you some razors, some scarves, and some
I'll stop
pumps.
at Cam at Ozell's boutique and give me some laced stockings.
Right.
Right.
Oh
Oh
man,
my,
it's crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But
Yeah, man. Oh man, what's the
let,
next game, bro?
yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
I could go on and
Um,
on with that crap, but go ahead.
yeah,
What's the next one?
Titans and Falcons,
Oh man,
24-10,
I'll let you call it, bro. I'll let you call it.
Tennessee
I don't know.
Titans. I mean, I don't have to say much. I predicted the Falcons were going to be garbage this year, and
Yes,
they are proving that.
yes.
And the crazy thing is, they're probably one of the most talented,
Oh,
terrible teams that you've ever seen.
it's
You know,
amazing,
they have
Russ.
on paper they look good, but it's not coming together on the field. I didn't think it would this year, and it hasn't for them all year.
It's
And
really, man.
huh?
I says it's amazing how bad they are with all that talent.
Right.
Oh, God, it got so much. It's mind boggling.
But
I
you
don't
said
know
it
what.
many times on this show. That's why we play the game.
Yeah,
And they look very talented on paper, but they don't look like it on the field.
no, they don't.
And
Wow.
Matt Ryan is going in the wrong direction. I'll say it like that.
Yeah, he is. He is because you can't. I mean, if you got all that talent on that team, and if you're a quarterback and you're considered, and I'm using air quotes here, considered one of the better upper echelon quarterbacks in this league,
Which he
bro,
isn't.
which he isn't. But again, the pundits think he is,
Oh yeah.
bro. I'm telling you right now, man. You, he's starting to get that Kirk Cousins, dare I say.
Wow, you going that far with it, huh?
No, no, I'm not going that far. I'm not gonna
You know what
embarrass.
though? Why not? I mean, he's playing like that right now.
I mean, that's true. He is. He is. I mean, he's leading the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
Um, his team is losing. He's got a really talented team. So, you know what? You're right. Yes, we're gonna go. He's falling into the Kirk Cousins category, at least for
He
this
actually
season.
looks worse than Cousins right now. I mean, for real. He looks worse than Cousins right now.
He
Seriously.
does actually. He does. That's crazy, man. Oh my god, that is insane.
They be crowning these guys too early, man.
Yeah,
They crown these guys way too early, and he was one
way
that got crowned very early.
very early. And look, they crowned him when he that year when they made it to the Super Bowl. They crowned him and put him in a throne because they're
Right,
like, oh my God, Matt Ryan, oh my God, he's
right,
gonna be like this for the next 10 years.
right.
Like, bro, pump your brakes, slow down. Good had a good season, and they basically choked it away in the Super Bowl. So I mean, again, Russ, I can't argue too much with you, man. I picked the Falcons to be what second in that division,
Yeah,
and they're dead last. So you know, you're
but
right.
that's
I
football.
that's football.
You know,
I was dead wrong on that.
I mean, I'm dead wrong on a few other ones. So I mean, but it's still early. Anything can happen. But I don't think the Falcons are gonna come back. But anything can happen. Never know. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, it's still early. It's the first quarter of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
But let's talk about the Titans though. The
yes.
Titans went out there and they played well, but they're starting
Oh,
to worry me because it's like that Titans team doesn't show up every week, and I expect them to.
right, right,
That's the team that made me say they could win this division. They could win the AFC South.
right.
When they play like that, that's what I expected, but they don't do that every week, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, bro. And that's what I'm saying. That again, though, see, but it comes down to Marcus Mariota too, Russ. I
Yes, yes,
mean, he's
yes,
he's he's being inconsistent again.
yeah,
Russ, he had a really good game against Atlanta, but the
yeah,
week before, what it was another dud. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly.
It's just so inconsistent, man.
Yeah,
He's another guy character wise, Russ. I mean, this guy, he's Marcus Mariota. He's a pro.
Yes.
No ifs ands or buts about it. He's a pro.
Yes. Yes.
He
He
works
handles
hard.
himself well.
Absolutely works hard. Comes up. What I'm saying, like he's a pro, and but it's unfortunately he's just an inconsistent pro right now at this time.
Right. Right.
So. But I mean, the Titans. I tell you what, they'll always compete because they always keep a good defense. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? They always keep a good defense, and defense and special teams is what they thrive on. So,
Yes.
and and then if Derrick Henry's been running the ball pretty well,
Yes, he
so they
has.
got a nice formula to win. So they'll give some team. Put it this way, they'll be a tough out. When you played against the Titans,
Absolutely.
you're not. It's going to be a tough game to win. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So yeah, there you have it. What's the next game?
Chiefs Lions.
Oh my God. Wow. We were just
Go
talking about
ahead.
that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you right now, Russ, the Detroit Lions might be the best team in the NFC North.
Right. I mean, we were talking about it earlier when we was talking about the Packers and the Vikings and the
Uh,
Bears, I believe. But yeah, I mean the Lions. Hey, we were both wrong on like you said, you were wrong on that other one. We were both wrong on the Lions because we both picked them to. I think I even went as far as saying they might be one of the worst teams in the league.
yeah, I remember you saying that. I
Yeah.
do.
So I've been so far. I'm totally wrong about the Lions.
Yeah, and not only are they not one of the worst teams in the league, they might be one of the best teams
One
in
of
the
the
league.
better teams in the league. The way and when I watch them play, the way they're playing doesn't make me feel like it's like just a fluke.
Right, right.
It's this the way they're playing inherent. Uh, um, their quarterback right now is playing.
Matthew Stafford's a damn good
Yeah,
quarterback, by the way.
I mean Stafford is definitely having one of his better years. I would say. You
Yes.
know, it's
Yeah.
almost like him and Romo were always equivalent to me,
Hmm.
talent wise, and how good they could be, and then also they could carry the team when they didn't have the talent around them.
Right.
But then also because of that, they're gonna be to blame for when they lose too.
Right.
But then at the end of Romo's career, before the injuries really started piling up on him, he got it together,
Yep.
and less mistakes, and he started making even smarter decisions. And he started changing plays at the line and all that stuff,
Right.
And I
Right.
think Stafford is in that position right now.
Yeah, he is. He
And
is.
now he has some talent, and he's getting the most out of those guys, and the defense is even playing well.
Absolutely.
So I think the Lions are probably one of is a dangerous team right now.
Very dangerous.
You
Very
can't sleep on them. They're, and now let's see, because teams are not going to sleep on them anymore.
right.
They know that the Lions are legit now.
Yeah, and see that's where see. I'm glad you brought that up because that's how I tend to make my sort of predictions or yeah predictions on some of these teams because once like for example the Cleveland Browns. Remember I told you nobody's gonna like people aren't sleeping on them anymore. You know
Oh
what I'm
no,
saying?
they were gunning for them. Yeah.
Yeah, people aren't sleeping on them now. With the Ravens, that just had this past week, they had a false sense of security going in that game because of
Right.
the prior game
Right.
that played. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but nobody's gonna sleep on the Browns. Nobody's gonna sleep on the Lions. Now, like you said, I'm glad you brought it up. You said basically like, okay, now you're putting the league on notice that you are a pretty darn good team.
Yeah.
So other teams are going to say, okay, you know what? We're going in there and we're going into battle with these guys. We're not going in there and just kind of, finding our way. We're going. These guys they come
We
to
got to
play.
come prepared. We got to
Right.
come prepared.
Come
Yeah.
prepared. Right. You can't sleep on these guys. So we'll see. Like again, we'll see what happens from now on for the next quarter, next 4 games in this league. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens with the line. But however, at the end of the day, great. I mean, they didn't win the game, but that was a great game. They played a
Yeah, it
fantastic.
was. It was.
You know, the Chiefs, on the other hand, they found a way to win. Russ, that's what good teams do. They
Yeah, but their
found,
defense is still porous.
and that's it. And I'm glad you said that. That's exactly why they're not. They're not. going to the Super Bowl because of that
Right.
defense. Absolutely, because of that defense, they're not going to the Super Bowl. No way. I don't got them going. You know,
Nah, I don't either.
you have to have a defense, bro. You have to. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You can't. Yes, you have an excellent quarterback. You have weapons on offense. I mean, you know what the Chiefs remind me of? The 1998 Minnesota Vikings. Remember that year?
They're not that good.
You don't think so?
Nah.
You don't think they're 15 and
The
one good,
98 Vikings were a much better team than the Chiefs this year.
even defensively?
As a team, I think the Vikings were better. Defensively, I think the
I think
Vikings were
we're
better
yeah. You
because
know what?
and
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the Chiefs defense is week 4 and we know they're not good. We know they're gonna
right,
give up points.
right.
You
That's
know,
true.
they're
The
not the
Vikings,
worst defense in the league either, but they're
they're
definitely
not
not one of the. They're not a championship defense. The
right,
Vikings that year they were blowing teams out.
right,
When they
right,
went 15-1, they were smashing teams, and then they weren't giving up that many points all the time.
right.
It's not like they were in a bunch of shootouts that year.
No, it wasn't.
You know,
we, you weren't. Yeah, you're right. That was a good point, Russ.
yeah.
I
So
think.
I believe that team was way better than this
Yeah,
Chiefs team, and
I
the
think.
Chiefs the Chiefs are top heavy on offense, but their defense is what kind of levels them out as not being that team that's gonna, like you said, go win the championship, win the Super
Yeah,
Bowl. No.
yeah. No, you got me. You trust me. You corrected me. I stand corrected on that. You're right. Now I think about it, like, yeah, I mean, the Vikings defense was back in '98 used to make plays on defense. They used to, get
Yes.
pick sixes and
Yeah, they
John
made
Randall.
plays.
Yeah, John Randall was leading the league in sacks that year. So yeah, you're right. I stand corrected,
It
bro.
was really only that Atlanta game.
It really was. Yeah.
To be
That's
honest with you, that season it was the Atlanta game that
yeah.
ended their season in the NFC Championship game.
Yep. Yep. That's facts. That is facts.
That's when their offense didn't look right and the defense gave up way too much to a Falcons offense that nobody expected that was going to happen.
Right. Right. Exactly.
So
Yep. That's right. Well, um, we'll see how good the Chiefs are, though. They're good, but I think
they've got an L coming.
yeah, they've been exposed. That defense has been exposed. So
They've
you're right.
definitely got an L coming very
Def,
soon.
absolutely. What's the next one on the docket?
Um, the Redskins and the New York Giants.
Oh God.
The
Okay.
Giants 24-3.
Well, since your team's in the NFC East, you go ahead and handle this one, Russ. I'll just
Okay.
comment as it goes on. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, the Redskins, shout outs to their field goal kicker. I don't know his name, but I'll probably learn it because that's the only way they're gonna score coming up. I gotta hey, Redskin fans out there. All the memes y'all sent me this week because we lost to the Saints 12-10. I don't need to. My feathers aren't ruffled, so I don't need to pluck them. But y'all need to pluck y'all feathers because y'all feathers are ruffled. In fact, y'all walking around here like some bald birds right now. So much plucking been going on this season.
Oh God. Yeah, killing me. You killing me, man.
So I mean, but let's get to the game. The
Uh-huh.
Redskins, they finally benched Case Keenum
Hmm.
for Dwayne Haskins, and I guess it was like a pressure move to me.
It
You know,
was.
it
I
was a
agree.
pressure move. The kid that everybody said the Giants made a mistake by
Yep.
drafting Daniel Jones from Duke, and they should have drafted who the Redskins ended up getting, Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State.
Oh Lord.
And I'm not saying Ohio State because of just the try. I'm just naming their where
All
they went
right,
to
no
school.
doubt. I
I'm
hear
not
you.
I'm not trying to take any shots at the Buckeyes, but um, and you get out there and Daniel Jones is starting now and performing, and it's
Hmm.
like nothing else is going well. Case Keenum is stinking up the spot. The team is stinking up the spot. It's not just Case. Case Keenum. But
Mhm.
so why not throw it? That's why I said I feel it was a pressure move to put Haskins out there because of
And,
who was across the field and how
and,
he was playing.
and, and you know what, Russ? Based on that, do you think Dwayne Haskins was set up to fail in that game?
I don't think he was set up to fail. I think he
Okay.
was set up to succeed. I mean, if you watching him on the sidelines, he was biting at the bit to get in the game.
Okay.
After every unsuccessful drive, he was over there in the coach's ear.
I see.
I mean, I don't know what he was saying. I'm not trying to speculate, but
Right.
the kid wants to play, right? I would
Right.
think.
Right.
So
You're
you
right.
get a chance to go out there. Not saying you're going to come out and win the game,
Right.
but the you know what? I can't be too hard on Haskins. He threw his first touchdown in that game. You know, of his career. Too bad it was for the Giants.
You know what made it worse? You know what made it worse? It was
What?
to a university. The guy who intercepted the game, the pass and took it to the house was Jabril Peppers, and he played at University of Michigan.
Wow.
You know the
Can't even
Redskins.
write. You can't even write a script like that.
Yeah, listen, Russ. The Redskins is the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Please keep handing out those gifts, please, Redskins. I'm loving y'all this year. I'm loving it.
Oh God.
All the salty Redskin fans out there, and I mean they are salty.
Oh my God. Yes.
They
Yes.
are salty.
They want everybody fired. Hell, they want the owner fired.
Right.
They want him to fire himself. I mean, yeah, yeah. It's
Of course, the Redskin fans aren't listening to us anyway right now because football season's over for them. Like I said, about
oh
week
yeah,
five, it
yeah,
was a done deal. I think the prophet predicted that one. Week
yeah.
five, season's over.
Did you? I think you did, didn't you?
I did. I said week five, it's over. Then they're gonna be getting ready for right now the Mystics are balling.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. They
the
lost today.
Nats, the Nats.
Yeah, and
Um,
that. Yeah, they're balling.
you know,
They're in the
I don't
playoff,
expect nothing from the Wizards, but hey, they can't be any worse than the Skins. So
right?
there you go, Washington fans, jump at it.
Oh man.
Y'all should know what it is anyway. It's the Skins are the Skins.
Yep. I mean, listen, Russ. The Washington Redskins. They're what organization can we compare them to in another sport? Could it be all right? Clippers maybe? In
Clippers
basketball?
have had some good, yeah, kind of similar though. I can see that. I can see the Clippers.
Clippers,
I was starting to think maybe like more like the Sacramento Kings, but
Kings. But I mean, but the Kings have relatively they. Well, yeah, that's true. Hmm.
well, you're right. Maybe the Kings are better than the Redskins. Let's see. Can we get any lower? Um,
Um,
maybe the Washington Wizards.
bingo. There you go.
The
The
Washington
Washington
Redskins are the
Wizards.
Washington Wizards of the NFL.
The damn Washington Wizards are a version of the Redskins.
Right.
It's amazing. I mean, those you want to talk about dysfunction?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, those two organizations, Russ. I mean, they epitomize dysfunction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I like I said, I put it on Daniel Snyder for the Skins, man.
I do.
I mean, I just think that whole front office needs to be cleared out again.
Yep.
I know they brought in all these, but they can't draft. They've proven that. They've had 2 or 3 seasons now. Their drafting is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they drafted, nothing but Alabama players for the last 3 years, and
Right.
nothing has panned out.
No, it hasn't.
At least not yet. At least not yet. You know.
Nah,
And
it's not gonna
well,
pan out. It's
here's the
not
thing
gonna
with
pan out.
right. Here's the thing with Redskins, though, Russ. It seems like now. Look, let me ask you this first. Let me ask you this first. Do you think um, if those Alabama players go to, let's say, I don't know, the Packers or New England or Hell, even if you got draft some guys from the Cowboys. Do you think those players don't pan out like how they're not panning out right now?
Possibly. Because let me say this. Alabama is a collection of talent on the college level.
Hmm.
They're just but that doesn't mean if you just grab a handful of them that means you're going to have a good team in the NFL. You still have
I
to draft great players.
Right. I agree.
Just
I
because you go to Alabama doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to be a great player.
oh, yeah. Bingo. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like there's no team like that where you can say, "Oh, well, he went there, that means he has to be good." No, it
Right.
doesn't. You
No, it
know?
does not.
Why are you
Yep.
drafting him? Are you drafting him because, hey, I know what we'll do. We'll just get all the Alabama guys. I mean, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know if that was your idea of drafting. Then yeah, they all need to be fired. Because it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You don't
Russ.
just you don't just grab all of the. Is that how the Patriots have stayed on top? They've just been grabbing
Uh-huh.
Alabama players, and there's a connection there with Nick Saban
Right. I
and
know.
Belichick.
And
Just like Jason
they only
Garrett and
got
Nick Saban, we don't go and draft a bunch of Alabama players. Jason Garrett was on Saban's coaching staff when he coached in the NFL with the Dolphins.
right.
We don't go and draft a bunch of Alabama guys because it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way, and that's the thing. If you look at the New England Patriots, I think they got one, maybe two Alabama players on that team.
Right,
One,
right.
and bro, this whole, Russ, you're so right about it because it seems like when the Redskins, I think what they did was exactly what you just said. You know what? They went to Alabama, so that means they can play. Let's draft them. Bro, Russ, they got 9 Alabama players on that team, all of them on defense. 9.
Ridiculous.
I mean, look at their defense though. The defense is horrible.
What they should have done, right? What they should have done was looked at those 11 players that started for Alabama, and said which one of these guys is great.
Right, right,
Find a great player, regardless if it's Bama, Ohio State, whoever. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Penn State, whatever. Find a great player. Don't just say, well, he went to, you know what? He played for Ohio State. So, Ohio State, look at their history.
Right,
Let's
right.
draft him.
I
Nah, you
completely
can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You got
doesn't
to
work.
find a great player that played for Ohio State, a great
Right,
player that plays for Alabama or whoever. You know?
right,
So
exactly.
I just think the Redskins, they their front office is a debacle. And the Redskin fans deserve better than that. Yes, a
Yeah, they
Cowboy fan has just said it. The Redskin fans deserve better than that. Even though I like to make fun of them and I love plucking their feathers. I love plucking their feathers, you know. But because even though I do that, I still feel the Redskin fans deserve better than what they've gotten because the Redskin fans, and you said it before, they're loyal.
right.
I
Very
know I say that now they'll quit on their team real quickly when on a losing season like this. They're done for football, but that's just for the season.
for the season. Right, right, right.
That's just until they to the next season. But off season they'll be right back at it supporting their skins. They not gonna.
Yep.
I got a bunch of Redskin fans that are friends of mine, and they're gonna support the Redskins forever. But
Right.
so it's about time that they gave these fans something. You know,
Yeah,
something.
man.
But I prefer that they don't and they keep losing.
And you know what? I do too.
It's enjoyable, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I hope they lose for another 20 years.
Right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, honestly, man. Now on the flip side to that, though, the New York Giants they look very promising. You know,
Yes,
very promising. They got a quarterback who's looking like he's the real deal.
yes.
They got the running back.
And he
So
made some
there's
mistakes in this game, but
yeah, no
that's
doubt.
what he's gonna have to do as a rookie. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, they look like all they now Russ. All they got to do now is just build around that core players. Whether
Yes,
Daniel Jones, Saquon and maybe Sterling Shepard. Build and Evan Ingram, build around those guys. Get a
Yeah,
nice offensive line. You start building your defensive line, and
that's what
the
they're
Giants.
doing though. They
Yeah, yeah,
but you see, the
yeah,
Giants know how to do it. They got the blueprint. They
yeah,
know how to rebuild a team.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
true.
they've had Bill Parcells, Tom Coughlin, those guys in their history. They know how to build a team in New York.
That's
They know that they have to go and draft guys and talented guys. They draft talent.
yeah.
You know,
That's
they had bad years where they drafted terrible offensive linemen, and
hmm
it hurt them badly. And now they're starting to get back to what they're used to doing, and they're drafting good players.
yeah.
So I give their front office, a lot of credit for what they're doing. They're building
The,
their team.
you're
Um,
right. The Giants do draft well. That's
yeah,
that's very true. That's very true.
and I think that they're gonna be for we're gonna see Dak versus Daniel Jones and Wentz and all them for a long time in the NFC East. I think. You know,
Right,
I know there's four teams in the division, but there's only three that I can mention. Because I don't know what's gonna happen in the quarterback position in Washington. So
right.
but I think Daniel Jones will be there. I think Wentz will be there, and Dak will be there. And
Yeah.
Haskins could be the guy. But I don't think so. I still don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, it remains to be seen with him. We'll see what
yeah.
happens with him. But
Now,
I mean,
one more thing on that. Do you go back to Case Keenum now, or is he? Because in my opinion, you can't go back. But I don't know. We're talking about the Redskins. Case
you
Keenum
go
might
back.
start. You know.
I agree with you. You don't go back. This is it. I mean, why go back?
Yeah, yeah. Once you
You're
make
not
that
winning
move,
anything.
it's over.
You're not winning anything. You might as well see what you got with Haskins. You're not winning anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See what you got with him. If he can play. If he can play, great,
Right.
fantastic. If not, at least now you know what you got to do for this upcoming draft.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. It's plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Yeah. So
You
that's gonna
know?
be interesting to see. If he gets the nod for the rest of the season, might as well. If that's the guy you feel is gonna be your future quarterback, might as well. Let's see. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. Let him go through his growing pains, and maybe it'll be a work for his benefit.
Right. Right.
In the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
The last game is the Thursday night game.
All right.
I'll let
That
you take
was a good
that
game.
one. The Eagles Packers 34-27 Eagles.
That was a really good game. The
It
Eagles,
was a good game.
yeah, excellent game. The Eagles came to play. The Eagles knew that they could not fall behind 1-3. So, um, I believe I picked the Eagles to win that game. Did I not?
You did. You did.
Okay, yeah. That
I
was
picked the
simply because,
Packers.
yeah, that was simply because, Russ, I felt that what I just said. The Eagles, their backs were against the wall. Carson Wentz had knew, and they had to make a play, Russ. They had to. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They had to make plays in that game,
Yeah.
to change the narrative for their season. Because I'm telling you right now, you go 1-3 in that division with the
It's over.
Cowboys,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
over.
a wrap. You know, so you know, I mean, because at that point, the Cowboys have a really good team. So at
Yes.
that point, if you fall back behind the eight ball, it's going to be uphill battle that you can't come that
Nah.
come on, you
Yeah,
know.
it's over. It's over. You can't come back from that.
Right. So that's why I picked the Eagles to win that game. Now that game, Russ. Let me say this. I believe I called it. They're a little over the Eagles. I'm sorry, the Packers defense, Russ.
Overrated.
Yes.
You did call it. You did call it.
I mean, oh
I
my,
tried to defend them too, but they disappointed me, man.
yeah. I mean, the Eagles were moving the ball at with ease, Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember before that game, Aaron Rodgers was like, "Yeah, we got a defense now, so we're ready to go." I'm like,
Right.
bro, slow your roll, slow your roll. You know what I'm saying? Slow your roll.
Back to the drawing board.
Right, bingo. Back to the drawing board. Your defense, you still get y'all still need some more defense, some more pieces on that defense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. I don't subscribe to the Packers being this whole new overhaul and the defense is great. Nah, 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 nah. I mean, the defense is not terrible, but it's
No, no, they're
overrated.
not the worst defense in the league, but they're
Uh,
definitely not what people were starting to think they were.
Right, they're slightly overrated. They're overrated.
Yeah,
That's where I'm gonna go with that. They're overrated. I mean, Aaron
yeah,
Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, he did what he could, but with that overrated defense and the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles being desperate and needed to win that game, hence that's what happened. You know.
right. Yeah. So I
So,
mean, the Vikings are not, you know, everybody lost except for the Bears
right,
in that
that's true.
division, in you guys' division. So I mean, you know, they still have a shot. They just got to get it together. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, Packers lost, Lions lost close games, and even though I mean, you can just the Bears won that close game against the Vikings too. So
Yes. Yes.
you guys
That's
might
true.
have the best division in the league right now.
I think so.
One of.
What's the
Yeah,
other one?
that exactly, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. What's the other one though?
There isn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
You see what I mean? That's my point. There isn't. I think that's the best division in the league right now so far.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
When
I,
you
I,
look at
I
the four teams, every one of those teams can beat you any Sunday. I know we say any given Sunday for every team, but literally those are four dangerous teams either way.
right,
They're not four teams that there's not a team in that division you can write off yet.
right.
You know, you
I
can't write the Vikings off yet. You can't write the Lions off. You can't write the Packers off.
no, you can't.
You know, and you definitely can't write the Bears off. So it's like I can't say that about every other division. The NFC East is top heavy. It's the Cowboys and the Eagles, and the
Right.
Giants are playing well right now, but they're not ready yet to win a division or go to the playoffs. I don't think. You know,
No, no, they're not
and the
ready.
Redskins, we just talked about them, so can't say that about that division. The NFC South, the Falcons are terrible right now. The Panthers are who knows what you're gonna get every week.
Right.
You know, it's the Bucks and the Saints. Really, it's the Saints. You know, on top of that division, and the Bucks with a
Hmm.
possible. You know,
That's
the
true.
same thing with the NFC West. I mean, the Cardinals are going to be. They're not dangerous. A dangerous team. You know, the 49ers are winning that division. You got the Seahawks here. Rams are a better team, but they're still inconsistent. They're showing some inconsistencies.
Yeah.
You know, the Patriots division. I'm not even going to discuss that division. You know, um, the NFC North. I mean, no.
The worst team in the NFC North is at 500. Put it that way.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
The worst team in the NFC North is 2-2, which is the Minnesota Vikings.
Right, exactly.
So
So that yeah,
and
the AFC North. I don't with the Steelers and the Browns and Bengals and the Ravens. I mean, no, no.
right, right,
Um, maybe that's the second one because they all are still possibles. You know,
yeah,
in that division.
absolutely.
But they can't. I think the NFC North is the best division right now. You know,
I
I definitely
I
don't think it's the AFC South or the AFC West.
right. I agree. I agree. I'll agree with you on that. Absolutely, I agree with you on that. No doubt. No
And
doubt.
really, it's because of the Lions. The Lions are shocking everybody.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's really it's a shocking development going on right now with the Detroit Lions.
If the
I didn't think.
Vikings are winning, nobody's shocked. If the Packers are winning, nobody's shocked.
Hmm.
If the Bears are winning, nobody's shocked. The Lions are winning, everybody is like, whoa.
Right. Yeah, that's an eye opener.
Yeah, so that division is the best right now.
Yeah, sure is. Well, I mean, again, that's why we love the NFL, man. Because again, next
Oh
week we'll
yeah.
have more interesting to talk about. You'll see.
Oh yeah, always. Every week is gonna be more and more. So tomorrow, what we gonna touch on tomorrow? We got to get the college football
Yes.
recap
Today,
of this past
recap.
weekend.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, there is. We're doing basically NFL predictions for the upcoming week, college
Yes.
football predictions for the upcoming week, and college football recap for the past week on the college on Saturday. And then we're doing the review of the uh,
Earl
Sean Porter,
Spence,
Errol
Sean
Spence fight.
Porter fight. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So there you have it. That's what it is tomorrow, folks.
All
Tune
right.
in tomorrow. We're gonna get it started. We're gonna get it. It's gonna keep coming hot and heavy, and we're gonna get on it tomorrow. And tune in, and can't wait to get it started, baby.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for
So,
tuning in.
yep, absolutely. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes.
Peace.